A very good evening and a warm welcome to Uctv News. This evening it is the 24th of December 2024. I am Nora Osende to bring you the news bulletin on this Christmas Eve. Tonight we're starting off our newscast that in a bid to combat climate change and the adverse effects of agriculture, such as the rising temperatures and the unpredictable rainfall patterns that have disrupted rice production in Uganda, the National Agricultural Crops Resources Research Institute is developing climate-resilient rice varieties using advanced technologies. Now, Dr. Jimmy Lamo, the Senior Principal Research Officer and the Program Leader for the Serious Breeding Program, says that the Institute is focused on producing the rice varieties with desirable culinary traits like the aroma, softness, and the appealing shape to compete with the foreign rice dominating the local market and the international markets.
It's a multi-pronged approach in developing a unit of variety. Now, when the variety is developed, we make sure we retain what is preferred, just like the director mentioned, especially the culinary qualities, the aroma, the softness, and even the shape. Unlike maize, where whichever shape of maize you will mill it into flour in most consumption pattern, rice, there are specific consumers who want slender, sticky, or slightly sticky. So we make sure all those are done. So when we are releasing it, or when we are developing it, we get now a range of new varieties and we go back to the consumers and they take us through the selection until we refine one that we eventually release. So we are in time with our research as far as climate change is concerned. But also we do predictive or preemptive, where we know that when climate change happens like this, then new diseases may come. For example, there's what we call the brown spot, which never used to be a challenge, but with the change in climate, it's even now more serious. So we also prepare ourselves and make sure those genes are in the new materials. Challenges that address rice production are refined by coming with what we call the product profile. Challenges associated with climate change include drought, high temperature, cold, and even submergence. So we make sure that those become part of the description of our product profile, such that if a variety is coming, it should be able to have genes for drought tolerance, and if it is submerged for 2-3 weeks, it should be able to withstand, it doesn't rot in the collar. And if the temperature falls so low, there are genes also for cold tolerance. We are saying the rice that we have is of good quality, but we now need to invest in branding so that we deploy particular variety by something close to the name to a particular area. And that's why when you go now to Doho irrigation scheme, you'll find about 60 to 70% of the scheme is growing narrow rice 1. Of course, they'll call it New Super. That is the branding from there. But when you go to Kasese, you'll find them growing narrow rice 2, which is very close to Basmati. It is slender. And a colleague bought it from there, and he was questioned because they thought he imported, because the quality is just like imported Basmati. So we are mapping the country so that trade and access of the types that you want is easy. And that question comes because we haven't perfected that, and we need the private sector, and we are happy that NARO has gone into agreement such that deployment of varieties goes to different regions in the correct way.
Now, today, December 24th, widely recognized as a day for slaughtering animals and purchasing foodstuff ahead of Christmas celebrations, saw varied last-minute sales at Kalere Market. Today's morning rain affected the turnout, leaving some traders content with sales, while others, especially those dealing with perishables, expressed disappointment over the weather's impact on their businesses.
24th of December is normally known as a day when animals are slaughtered for Christmas, and it's when most people buy foodstuffs for Christmas. However, when we visited the markets today, traders said that this season has not been profitable like the previous years.
Tuli basajja abatunzi b'ennyama mu lufula abasuubuzi b'ente era nga tusuubula ente mu buli ango. Olunaku olwaleero lwe lunaku oluddirira olunaku olwa Ssekukkulu, ennaku z'omwezi 24. Tuli mu kutunda ennyama mu bujjuvu. Abantu bagezezzaako oggula naye era si mu bujjuvu nga bwe kyandibadde. Ente zaatubuze olunaku olwaleero. Ente ntono nnyo ekyaleetedde n'ebbeeyi y'ennyama okulinnya. Tugenza okukyekanga nga ennyama bulijjo gye tusuubuza ogumu 3 olwa tugisuubuza gumu kitundu, gumu 4-5. Lwaki? Nti ente zaabuze. So we tusinziira okukubira gavumenti omulanga. Oba waliyo ente gye zeesibidde, ente bazite. Zijje olwo n'omuntu wa wansi asobole okulya akanyama ku bbeeyi esoboka. Ente ze tubeera nazo bulijjo mu nnaku enjereere zibuze, ku lunaku olukulu tetubadde nazo. So tusaba bonna bagumire embeera, tugumire embeera mu kaseera kano tuyitewo okusobola okuba nga tulaba kiki ekigenda mu maaso. Abantu okusinziira bagula naye nga bakaaba. Kubanga bulijjo tubasuubuza gumu 3-5 kati eri ku gumu kitundu. Bakaaba kuba bangi basudde zibbuca baga katugende eri gye tusuubula. Naye basanze ebbeeyi eri kaali. Kye tutamanyi oba ababbuca batunze batya, neffe tubaguza omutwalo gumu n'ekitundu mu kubasuubuza ne mu kuguza bassekinnoomu. Otulaba n'olwaleero tuli munda n'ebweru tutaddewo amameeza. Lwaki? Tusobole n'okuwa bassekinnoomu. Bangi bajja ayagala kilo 5, 3, 4 naye nga munda tasobolayo. Kati tubasembereza ne ku mulyango ow'omunda tumuwa n'ow'oku mulyango tumuwa. Tetumanyi lwaki nti emyezi ng'ebiri ente zizze zikendeera zibula. So tetumanyi lwaki. Twali tugamba nti bazisibye ziyiike mu Ssekukkulu, naye Ssekukkulu zibuzo singa emabega. Weero embeera yakedde ngambi, naye olw'okuba nti lunaku lukulu balina okujja, obukubo okukya abantu bayiika bajja. Embeera tugigumidde kubaza embeera mwe tusinga okukolera ebiseera ebimu.
Some traders pointed out the weather as a big obstacle for their customers, as it's hard for them to move around the market when it's muddy.
Ndowooza oba nkuba oba bwavu simanyi nange mu butuufu kuba enkuba ekedde tusalako nnyo. Abantu ebiseera bino mu Christmas eno Christmas tebadde nnungi olw'ekuba era yaggwa twatundanga bulungi nga tuddayo ku enkota ng'eno gisanga 5,600 naye kati eno saawa zino bagula ena kitundu. So eno tebadde kiriya bulungi, buli mulingo guli awo gwa 2 sebo.
Engula y'abantu tennaba kuba nnungi n'akamu olw'ensonga tetunnaba kufuna vibe yonna etulaga nti tujja kufuna ssente. Yesebo abantu tebalina ssente, abantu baavu. Tetuseera naye abantu baavu. Koko tutandikira ku gumu kitundu okudda waggulu, kisinziira mu sayizi gy'oyagala. Enganda tubeera n'3, 2 kitundu, 3 kitundu, kisinziira mu sayizi gy'oyagala.
Due to the weather, perishable goods are sold at low prices to avoid mega losses.
Bannange tuli mu Freedom Market Kaleere. Bakasoma mwenna mujja mutuwagire. Olunaku olwaleero tutunze ennyaanya, obutungulu, obumonde, pepa, galiki, buli kimu ekiri wano mu bungi. Naye nga si bya bbeeyi nnyo, tetuseera okusinziira ku mbeera mwe tuli. Ntunda ennyaanya 3,100, ntunda pepa 6,100, 4,100, 5,100. Ebbeeyi yonna eya layisi weeri, ennyaanya 5, 2,000 ennene. Obumonde 5, 1,200, ogumu ekitundu. Buli bbeeyi yonna tuteesa ne kasitoma okulaba ng'afuna kyayagala. Enkuba etunyigiriza nnyo, bakasoma abalikedde okujja otugulako bajja batyayo olw'ebisooto ebiba mu katale. Kati ne kibanga enkuba etukosezza.
M. Frank, UCTV News.
And that marks the end of our newscast this evening. It has been nice having you on this Christmas Eve. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a very happy 2025. I am Nora Sende. Do have yourself a lovely evening.